Howdy y'all, Stock Warden here, back with another video. Today we're looking at Lithium Americas Corporation and how this stock has trended out and the reason for a lot of the up and downside on this stock, even with such great news that has been coming through with this company and also great partnerships, especially with a huge government sentiment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So everybody knows that so far Lithium Americas, being a United States only company, is pushing heavy into the global market, just specifically for the US to be able to hold on to all of its mineral resources because of China's huge pushbacks. So because China has started to tighten their grip on a lot of their sets and how they're going to tax and tariff a lot of their mineral goods. So China's Commerce Ministry announced fresh restrictions requiring government approval for the export of products containing certain rare earth metals, which most of all of them being your metallurgical and magnet type minerals, which the same strategic resources that is used in everything for all of these things, starting with, EV motors to missile guidance systems. And Beijing already controls about 85% of the global refining capacity and 90% of the magnet production, giving it huge leverage in all of these trade disputes. And with how tight this race is running, this almost seems like a direct rerun of the 2019 trade war. Except this time, I believe Donald Trump is going to be able to be in a lot better of a position to push against the Chinese, because you have companies like Lithium Americas inside America on U.S. soil to be able to boast that we have this product too. So with this trade war possibly getting into the wind, Trump's team has made no secret of wanting to secure all of these domestic control of rare earths and other critical minerals. So if the U.S. government continues its recent pattern on taking stakes in these assets like Lithium Americas, there are other companies as well that they are digging into, but for the sake of the video, Lithium Americas is one of the top companies that they are looking into. So essentially, when China decides they want to constrict their exports, America subsidies production, and all of these rare earth metals and these different companies for mining are sitting squarely in the crosshairs of geopolitical necessity. And whenever that comes into factor, then the stock can only go one direction, because it did a huge jump where initially the stock had kind of been flatlined at about $3 a share, running its penny stock trend. And then we automatically just seen within 2 weeks' time that the stock went way over 100%, getting all the way up to over 200% within just a few weeks of securing the U.S. government contract, from $3 all the way to the 52-week high of touching out at $10.52 a share. Now, given we didn't get to hold on to that $10 a share for very long, but it's still the fact that it was able to get there. So that's showing something huge to be able to push through with all of this, and with the U.S. government and China tightening around, that's good things for this company and for this stock. So all of the critical mineral stocks have been up in the recent market, as you can see, because most of them followed this same trend pattern of at least 100% growth, if not more. So after China had signaled that it plans to sustain certain export controls, even though President Trump threatened 100% retaliatory tariff on Chinese imports because of that, then China announced their export control measures on rare earth and related items is they believe to be a legitimate action by the Chinese government to refine its export control system in accordance with the laws and regulations, and that's coming directly from China's Ministry of Commerce. So that's something that is still going to be kind of in the works, but with this government shutdown that we're still currently in right now, the government really can't make heads or tails of how they're going to be able to proceed and move forward with this issue with China and with all the tariffs and things of that nature, because with the government shutdown, there can't be any trades, can't be any negotiations, and it's really pushing America down, and it looks really bad and really weak. So pretty much a lot of the market in bulk in a lot of different sectors are feeling the pain as well. So load the boat up for what's to come, because once the government can finally reopen and trade deals can get made, then if China tries to put their foot down, then the government's going to go all in on Lithium Americas and a select few other U.S. mines and refining products as well. So, but as it stands right now, where we are sitting, where we had the close of 679 on Friday afternoon. So Lithium Americas is averaging a rating on a hold for the mean price target of about 597, and this is according to a specific analysis polled by FactSet. So then that's going to run our line right about here. So you're running right up next to where the top of this candle was over here. So this is what they're saying the bottom is going to end up being for their average mean. So that is a pretty decent area to be able to land on if the stock continues to kind of fumble through the rest of the week next week, if the government can't get their stuff together. So obviously we have our solid top end breakthrough, more or less looking at this $10.07 a share up to your $10.20 a share. So we'll run our resistance line up here at right about 10.10 between the two. So this is a very, very large set where you have your top and your bottom breakthrough. Now, as far as the mid-range goes, it is on the bottom end for a mid resistance line, but we can kind of take an average of where everything has been over just the past 2 weeks and kind of look at where all of these candles kind of ended, where they peaked and where they began, and that kind of puts you roughly in this $8.25 to $8.30 line. So you have a pretty straightforward and a pretty steady line in between these three. It's a little bit on the higher side, which is still a good thing for all of you short traders out there or day traders, where if you're just looking to scale up, about 10 to 25% and then pull out, that's definitely one to look at for Lithium Americas being able to jump into this. So, but then you also see that how the stock over just the past 3 days with everything that's been going on with all of these talks and the government shutdown, the shares are down almost a solid 40%. So JP Morgan downgraded the company stock from underweight to neutral, which is kind of concerning because with them being underweight, that means that they're looking for it to just go straight up whenever the realization of where the stock is sitting is to be portrayed. So, but the company's trading volume for the days have been, averaging right about 86 million, even though their daily average is a lot. Their daily average is about 36, but their typical volume has been getting higher. So as the days are going by, and hopefully the trade volume will continue to increase, and hopefully increase in the other direction than the current direction it's going in. Now, on the backside of this, we also have the Q3 results are going to come out for Lithium Americas, and it is set to come out on November 6th of, I'm sorry, it's set to come out on November 6th, which is just in a couple of weeks. So we have a lot of stocks that are going to be coming through their Q3s to be set up. So far the earnings report for Lithium Americas has been, well, underperforming, and they really haven't been able to hit on target, but that's also because they're not a huge producer at this point in time. So it won't be long. Once they can get their Thacker Pass up and they actually start pushing product, then that's where all of their revenue is going to come in, and they're going to have all of their buyers actually start pushing into a full positive set of money stream, because it takes a lot of money up front to be able to get this stuff out of the ground and refine it. So it's still somewhat a work in progress, but it is definitely a solid one to be looking into, since the government has full backing of this company as well. So with all that being said, I hope y'all liked the video. So if you liked it, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and please, if you're watching the video and you are not subscribed, please drop and hit that subscribe button, because here soon, once I get enough subscribers, I'm looking at trying to do a couple of live orientations of some of the stocks that we're covering, and also some new stocks as well. So then we can all get together as a community and be able to go over some of the new ways that the stocks are pushing up and down with some of the news. And also I'll be able to kind of, get to be able to relate with you guys and kind of go back and forth into the community and see, are most of y'all short traders, or most of y'all long haulers, and things of that nature. So definitely looking forward to that. So without further ado, I'll see y'all in the next video. This is the Stock Warden, riding off. So y'all come back now, you hear?